Hello, my name is Mike Mills. I am the cabinet making instructor at Northeast Technical High School. I also serve as the SkillsUSA chapter advisor. And so today I want to talk to you a little bit about SkillsUSA, what it means to be a student member, and what it could do for you if you are interested in joining and signing up. So let's take a look a little bit further. Northeast Technical High School has 3 different student organizations in which you could be involved in. These are career and technical student organizations, and they're linked to our career and technical courses. Those 3 include HOSA, which is a Health Occupations Students of America, something of that nature, and that is for healthcare students and biomedical students. There's FFA, which is for agriculture students enrolled in an agriculture course. And then there's SkillsUSA, which has the largest umbrella and covers all of the CTE classes that we offer at Northeast Tech. So even if you're involved in HOSA and FFA, if you wanted to be in SkillsUSA, you could also be a member of SkillsUSA and participate in those different organizations. You can stack those up. You don't have to be just a member of one. So SkillsUSA, what the framework is kind of lays out what SkillsUSA does for its students and how it does it. So what SkillsUSA tries to do as an organization is take your personal skills and develop those things like we see here on the screen: integrity, work ethic, professionalism, and it blends those with workplace skills, or what they sometimes refer to as hard skills, your technical skills. And your technical skills. So your technical skills are the skills that you're learning in your courses, in your CTE courses at Northeast Tech. You know, maybe it's automotive, maybe it's welding, maybe it's healthcare. And then your workplace skills, this is going to be like your professionalism. This is going to be working with others, teamwork, things like that. And we try to blend and mold all of those 3 areas together, and then they all kind of feed into one another. So that's what SkillsUSA's framework helps shows us what the organization can kind of do for you and how it ties all of these areas together. We have a short little video for you to watch. It's on Mike Rowe. It's a 60-second PSA or public service announcement on what SkillsUSA is and what maybe it means to some people outside of the student educational realm, and how it can be a benefit to those students and other stakeholders. So let's go ahead and take a minute and we'll watch this video.
Mike Rowe on the skills gap and how a national nonprofit student organization called SkillsUSA is trying to fill it.
So the thing about SkillsUSA that's so cool, and the reason that my foundation has supported it for years, is that it's deliberately focused on celebrating a skill. 3 million jobs right now exist in the trades and transportation and commerce. The skills gap is real. Training kids and getting them excited to do the jobs that exist ought to be job one. SkillsUSA does that in a big way. It's about excellence and competition and being good at what you do, and eventually through all of that, learning who you are. SkillsUSA is working.
Learn more at skillsusa.org and microworks.org.
So what is SkillsUSA and how can it help you? Well, SkillsUSA is a partnership between the students and the teachers and industry working together to ensure that America has a skilled workforce. Now, SkillsUSA allows the student some opportunities and avenues to showcase some of their skills and get recognized for their abilities and skills. Other organizations like athletics and fine arts and those kind have ways that those students can showcase their talents and abilities. And these student organizations can do that for you as a hands-on learner and a hands-on worker, can help you to showcase your skills and how you excel in your different trades areas that you're studying in. So SkillsUSA really has 2 different avenues for student members. Now, these are not one or the other. These avenues could be taken together. So there's the contest areas and there's the leadership side of SkillsUSA. So let's look at the contest areas first. So there's over 100 different contest areas which SkillsUSA offers for student members. These contest areas are typically related to your your CTE course. And then there's also some that are leadership based. So there's like job skill demonstration where you give a little presentation on how to do a certain procedure within your job. There's interview skills, there's interview application process. So there's a wide variety of different contests that can meet the needs for you to showcase your abilities. So this year's state contest is held at Western Dakota State, and it's April 7th and 8th. Now, the state contest is where all the schools will send their CTE students or skills members, and the students will compete against one another in their different contest areas. So this is typically a 2-day event, and it's going to be held at Western Dakota this year. Then the winner of the state contest has the opportunity to go on to nationals. So nationals this year is held in Atlanta, Georgia in the summer, a week in the summer where you go and compete against other states and compete against and show off your skills at the national level. So typically first place winners are allowed to go on to nationals, and if first place winners can't make it, then it's offered to the second place winner to represent the state in that contest area. So the other avenue that students could take is for the leadership. And with the leadership route, we have two different avenues within leadership. One is you could work with the state director and the state office and be a state officer, where you would maybe help with recruitment. You would help schools and new chapters get up and running, where you would partake in some leadership development. And then ultimately at the state contest or the state conference in April, you help lead and facilitate that conference. So chapter officers, typically you would start as a chapter officer before taking on a state officer position. Those are going to be individuals who want to help lead and guide our local chapter for Northeast Technical High School. And you're going to plan activities, promote SkillsUSA within your courses. If you want to do different activities, maybe you want to have a social event, things like that. Those are what the state officers help plan and guide and lead and get the SkillsUSA members excited for. So there's some different avenues within leadership if you wanted to partake in those. Now, both of these areas will provide great information for your resume. So these items are resume builders. You're a SkillsUSA member. You're participated in leadership. Maybe you were a state officer, chapter officer. Those would definitely be things you would want to list on your resume as you move forward in pursuing jobs and education. You could also list your contest areas, what you competed in, what you placed, and so forth on your resume. So all of the fees associated with SkillsUSA are paid for through our fundraising efforts throughout the school year. Typically, we just do two. If you participate in one, then you don't have to do the other if you meet the minimum requirements. And these cover the hotels when we go to different conferences, when we go to nationals. It's going to cover travel and things like that. So really, this one or two fundraisers that you participate in covers all the expenses related to SkillsUSA. So even though the contest areas are held at the local technical college, this case it's out in Rapid City, they do partner with industry to help get those contests up and running, designed, laid out. So it's not just the tech school who's running it, it's also help through partnerships with industry to build contests that are relevant to what is being looked for by industry people who are hiring and skills that are needed in industry. So again, as mentioned, there's over 100 contest areas that all apply to different areas within CTE, and we're going to talk about those individual areas. So cabinet making has a contest of its own where students typically come together and are given a set of plans. They typically have 4 hours or so to build a project. So a lot of it is pieces of wood that are plywood, not necessarily solid lumber that you have to glue together. And the student will work through and build the project. And the student is evaluated off of their safety. The student is evaluated off of how well they build and the craftsmanship of the project, as well as the detail. Do you follow the plans? If one part is supposed to be a 1/2 inch and the rest of the project is 3/4 of an inch, did you put the right parts in the right place and the right thickness of the wood? There's also some other contest areas that students could participate in, like job skill demonstration. So there's job skill demonstration as it relates to cabinet making and job skill demonstration as it relates to an open field. So maybe, for example, you're an expert at applying edge banding, or you're an expert at gluing up boards. Then you could do a presentation on the process to glue up boards and actually, bring boards in and glue it together in front of your panel of judges. Or maybe it's an open area, and so maybe maybe you're an expert at building peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So you could do a contest, a presentation on how to assemble with the ingredients and how to butter on the peanut butter and how to spread the jelly for the optimal peanut butter and jelly sandwich experience. And then there's the job interview and the job interview process. So one contest is creating a resume, filling out an interview application, and that process. And the other job interview itself is being critiqued on your ability to give or perform in a job interview. So you might be graded on how well you answered questions, your dress and grooming, your professionalism, your willingness to answer questions and be appropriate during an interview. So those are different contest areas that would be available for cabinet making students for Northeast Tech course. Carpentry or building trades, residential construction type courses. So this area has a lot of different contest areas that students could participate in. The one that we get the most is the carpentry. Now that is an individual contest where students will do mostly framing and laying out of like rafters and different pitches. You might build something with the bird's beak on it and have a rafter come up to the top. You might lay out stair treads or stringers so that you can show that your ability to do the framing and the different carpentry skills. Teamworks is also a carpentry one, and this is one where 4 different students compete. So this is one where someone would be like the electrician, someone would be the plumber, someone would be the mason, and someone would be the carpenter. And so you work together as a team, you build a structure, you have to wire it, you have to plumb it, you have to do some masonry work in addition. So this is a team contest that usually involves 4 different team members. Another area I know that you cover at Northeast Tech would be architectural drafting, and drafting through the different programs, laying out, house details, framing wall, or, laying out the walls and plumbing and electrical. So architectural drafting, and that's drafting as it relates to carpentry type stuff, architectural or house plans. Another contest area is plumbing. So if you have done plumbing, maybe you have an interest in plumbing, you're kind of excelled at plumbing during the class, there's a plumbing contest. Electrical, again, you've mastered that during class, maybe you have some extra experience, your dad's a plumber, or electrician, you've done some electrical on the side. Those contests are going to be a little bit more specific to skills. So you might need to have some advanced knowledge of plumbing and electrical, and so that might require some extra work outside of course or your classwork, because you're not necessarily covering a lot of plumbing and electrical in your course. You do cover it, but not maybe to the depth that you would need for those two. Masonry, we've had a student do masonry in the past. He had experience laying bricks with his dad. His dad was a mason, and he chose to do that contest. So you need to be knowledgeable both in commercial masonry and in residential masonry and those different processes there. And there is a contest for HVAC and sheet metal bending for the different contest areas that way. So those are kind of the technical skills where you'd actually have to have some hard skills in those areas. There's also some areas where you could compete in that maybe you have specific knowledge in a certain area. So job skill demonstration is one. So a student could compete in different job skill areas and give a presentation. So it's a 5 to 10 minute presentation. There's 2 avenues. There's one related to your content and one that's open. So the content area one is maybe you could give a presentation on how to drive a long screw into a board without the board splitting and without the screw breaking. Maybe you have some expertise knowledge in that, and you could create a presentation, and your whole contest could be around driving a screw into a board and to prevent cracking and to prevent the screw from breaking from overheating. Okay, so the other avenue is open to any contest area. So maybe you're an expert at making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you could give a demonstration or a presentation on the process of building a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, all the ingredients that you need, the process of buttering the bread. Do you put peanut butter on both sides or just one? And then assembly, and then you could stop there, or you could even how to enjoy it. Maybe cut it in half, maybe cut it in a triangle shape, and go through that process. It's about the details of giving the presentation, kind of more of a leadership, being able to describe certain processes. There's also contest areas for job interview and job application process. So one is on filling out an application, doing a resume, and those skills, and the other is on the actual interview. So where you sit down across from somebody, they're interviewing you for a specific job, you're answering questions, you're dressed appropriately, you're conducting yourself in a professional manner, and so you're actually critiqued on your ability to perform in a job interview. So there's a wide variety of not only technical contests, but also leadership type contests. There's one in customer service, maybe dealing with customers that are upset about something. Maybe you built their project and they didn't realize how small their house was going to be, and they're upset about that. Or maybe the sink is in the wrong location, and you have to work them through solving their problem while they're a little hostile or maybe upset. And you have to, keep your cool as your customer service representative. There's also related technical math, where maybe you're laying out some of the geometry for your different walls, and it's not going to be specific to carpentry. It could be related to any area of CTE. So maybe it's automotive questions. It's kind of a general knowledge, applied math contest area. And that's a test where you sit down and take a test. So that can be done with some of these other ones. So job skill demo, job interview, customer service, some of those contests can be stacked up. So you could do 2 different contests, where like carpentry is an all-day contest. You're not going to be able to do multiple contests and compete in one of the other ones. So those are a few of the areas that you could compete in the residential construction area at Northeast Tech for SkillsUSA. So the foods program, or the culinary program at Northeast Technical High School, has a few different contest areas where students could participate. So the first is commercial baking, and I know we don't really cover baking a whole lot, but if you were you're a good baker already, you've worked with your instructor on this, and they think that maybe you'd be a good fit for this commercial baking aspect. Maybe you're you work in a bakery after school, those kind of settings, then a commercial baking one might be a benefit to you. Another one that a lot of students compete in for Northeast Tech would be culinary arts, where you actually go and you're given a list of ingredients, and you have to come up with your dish that you're going to create, and some artistic value to that, as well as how well it tastes and things like that, presentation, and your skills and ability for cutting, and different aspects of the different culinary techniques that you need to be able to do. There's also a contest area called restaurant services. This is going to be more of the actual as a server, and your ability to navigate and to help customers in the restaurant service industry. There's also some areas of like job skill demonstration where you could compete. There's 2 avenues. One would be related to the technical skills related to your class. And so those would be food skills, like maybe you're an expert at dicing up tomatoes in a certain pattern, and you could give your presentation on the process to selecting maybe a tomato and choosing which way to cut it and how to slice it and cleaning up when you're done, and that process. Okay, so you're giving a presentation on a skill that maybe you're an expert at. The other would be open to something else that's not related to your content area. So maybe I use making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but in this case that would be related to your contest area or your content area. So maybe you're in foods, but you're really good at one contest area that would be open to all SkillsUSA members is the T-shirt and design contest. And so in the past, what they have done is a student has designed the logo for the year that gets used. Typically, this is put on the SkillsUSA shirt when South Dakota goes to nationals. This is the picture that's on the back of their shirt that represents our state. And so this is a contest area. They also have a T-shirt design contest area at the national level, if that was something that interests you. But this is one that typically more students get involved with, that I've seen in the past, is designing a digital logo or design that represents our state of South Dakota. And there are some parameters that need to be followed. If you're interested in this contest, we can talk a little bit more individually on that topic. So yes, we do want you. We're looking for Skills USA members, not only to compete, but also for our state or our chapter officer. We need members to constitute our organization. So if you're interested in participating in contests or maybe taking on a leadership role, feel free to contact me or contact your teacher at Northeast Tech, and they can tell you how to get a hold of me and what you need to do to get enrolled in Skills USA. So there's a couple ways to sign up. So the main way to sign up is to go through the Northeast Tech homepage at northeasttechnicalhighschool.k12.sd.us. And then once you're there, you're looking for the Skills USA button. So over on the left side of the screen, you'll see right below member schools, there's Northeast Technical High School photos. And then right below that is Skills USA, Northeast Technical High School, or NTHS Skills USA. You're going to click on that. It brings you out to a Google form where you're going to fill out some information. So I have that information and I can enroll you as a member, and we can contact and communicate with you which contest areas you want to compete in, when events are happening with the chapter that you could compete in, and so forth. So that's how you would sign up to be a Skills USA member. Okay, so Skills USA, again, really is a great opportunity for you to showcase your abilities and skills in different areas. It's also an excellent resume builder. There's usually prizes associated with the different contest areas. So first, second, and third usually get a prize of some kind. Some years the prizes are better than others. It's all based on what industry donates. For example, some contest areas in the past have walked away with, a cordless drill or a cordless circular saw, just all depending on what industry donates to their contest areas. So some areas like automotive are a little bit more better covered from industry support, like Snap-on usually donates tools for contest prizes. And other areas like early childhood education are probably not going to have quite as much industry support with prizes as you would see in some of the other ones that are a little bit more hands-on. So again, if you're wanting to participate, please let me know and we'll get you involved with Skills USA. And I don't think you'll regret it. And hopefully, if you have any other questions, get a hold of me.